Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm in conversation with Sushant Divgikr, a very close friend of mine. I'm sure most of you already recognize him and know him. We also talk a lot about his childhood and his teenage life, his college life, and so much fun about how I met him and everything. You're gonna love it. So stay tuned. You're gonna really enjoy this episode because there's so much to learn. Trust me, when I was sitting with Sushant, I just got to know so much more, and you guys are gonna as well. So stay tuned. So today we have Sushant Divgikr in our presence. And it's weird that I'm saying Sushant Divgikr because he's sushi for me. And yeah, we've known each other for decades. Like, we're besties for life.
Bride squad.
Bride squad, bridesmaids, yeah, all of it. I mean, he's seen me through thick and thin and all of it, and same here. Known all his stories, and I'll tell you more about how we met. First, let me give you an introduction because you deserve it, man. You so deserve it. Okay, guys. Sushant is an LGBTQ activist and a drag queen performer. So gorgeous. Also known as Rani Kohinoor. Sushant has numerous feathers in his cap. He is a performer, a reality star, Mr. Gay 2014, and is always involved in auditioning, mentoring, and training younger drag queens, and aims to make drag a more accessible art form in the country. Wow. He is a youth icon and an inspiration who, through his art, promotes inclusivity and love. Everything I stand for.
And that's the reason why we connected. Honestly. Because there was only love.
There was only love.
Yeah.
And honestly, guys, let me tell you a little bit of a story of how I fell in love with him. Because that's just the way you will connect with us.
Oh my lord!
Do you remember? I don't know.
Of course I do.
Yeah, okay. So I saw him, okay. Oh, so before I begin, okay, I definitely want to ask Sushant his preferred pronouns. And we'll explain that a little bit later to you about what this really means. So what can I call you, darling?
You can call me anything, just make it sexy.
Okay.
I mean but for everyone else, I think the preferred pronouns are he, she, and they, because I'm gender fluid.
Yes.
There are some gender fluid people that, like to go by the pronoun they and them, because that's then they don't want to kind of get stuck in either the male or the female, so they're non-binary.
Yes.
So am I, but I'm comfortable being he, she, and they. Love the synergy of both energies.
I agree with that. Okay, awesome. Okay, now let me tell you how I met Sushi. So I saw Sushi in Subway in Juhu. I was done with my college and I was going back home, and I was like, I'll stop, in Subway. And I grabbed, a sub, and I was sitting on my table, and Sushant walks in. Okay, with a friend. I don't know who that was, but
because she was eating the Subway. Back then, I was never eating Subway.
Yeah.
I could afford not to eat Subway. Now I have to. I can only smell a Subway and I'll put on weight now.
So yeah, I saw and I was so mesmerized. I'm like, I need to find out who this is, because gorgeousness, like I never seen someone like that, right? So confident and just the way you were. And I stalked him and then texted him on Facebook.
You did. You did. And back then Facebook was not like Facebook was the thing.
Yeah.
There was no Instagram.
No.
There was no YouTube. Was also not that big. So and there was no WhatsApp.
There was no WhatsApp.
So there was literally Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And I remember you messaged me and I was like, oh my god, you're so sweet, and you're like, we just kept complimenting each other. Like I still have those chats. And then I realized that we have a couple of common friends.
Yes.
And we started talking about that, and then I kind of asked you where you're from, and then you said you've grown up in Dubai and then come here. So I was like, okay, let's be friends.
Yeah, you were so sweet, and you're like, let's do it. And then it's been over 10 years that I've known you. And
and whoever thinks that you can't make friends over the internet, have you met
we
us?
proved them wrong. Oh yeah, we've been through so much together. All the celebrations and everything, birthdays, Christmas parties, all of it, we've done it together.
Even my karaoke nights that
karaoke
you used to come,
nights,
my god,
yes,
all decked up. You used to come and everybody else was in their gudgies and chuddies, and she used to come like on diva. And I was like, listen, it's a karaoke night. She's like, but this is my vibe. And I was like, fantastic, let's sing something for you then.
Yeah. You've always dedicated a song to me from, his gigs, and I've always loved it. So yeah, we have tons of stories, but yeah, we're just here to talk about a lot about the LGBTQ community and just want to shed light on it. And mostly educate the people, because I have such young audiences and I have parents watching me, which I love. And I just wanted to have a candid chat with my bestie here, and I hope you guys learn a lot from this video. Now, I know Sushi really well, but I want you guys to know him. So tell me like a little bit about your childhood. Where were you born and how was it at home?
I was brought up in Mumbai, and I was born to a wonderful family, and my parents, as you know and as a lot of people know, are rock stars.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't have imagined being born to any other parents, because they are so they're so accepting. Not just accepting, I think they have so much love to give, and they've never asked any in return. So we feel, at least I feel, and I'm sure my brother does too, that it is our duty to kind of give back. We don't have, it's not a choice anymore. Like, it's just like, we've had the opportunity, at least I have had the opportunity to go out and live in several other countries. But I couldn't leave my home in Mumbai, and wherever my parents are is home for me.
Yes.
And a lot of my friends who are European and American, they ask me, how do you still live with your parents? And I'm like I feel very honored that I have the opportunity to live with them. They have their space, I have my space, and we of course we have our meals together, and a lot of people crave this. And so for me as a kid, my brother and I, both of us, we were never differentiated based on our physical attributes or our gender expression, or ये लड़कियों जैसे है या ये लड़के जैसे हैं, never. And whenever we used to go to buy toys also, I remember very vividly, since then we've been allowed to choose what toys we want to play with.
Incredible.
So my brother used to go for the GI Joes, and because of peer pressure, because of peer pressure, I used to also buy one GI Joe, but also one Barbie doll.
Yes.
Like I was like, तुम्हें खुश करने के लिए ये भी लेंगे, but मुझे खुश करने के लिए मुझे Barbie भी चाहिए. And my dad never flinched. He just, he always, they tried their best, and there was a time when, it was very hard on them also. And my mother has been the backbone of the family. I mean, my dad is amazing, but, he's very gullible.
I know.
So, they were going through a phase, and they never let us know.
Yes.
And that, I think, is beautiful parenting.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and we never realized. Yes, there was a point when we both were teenagers where we felt we were very poor.
Yes.
Because, very poor. Like, in terms of, I used to travel, literally, used to change 3 buses to go to college.
I feel
you. Change 2 buses and 1 train to go to where I used to teach dance. I was with Terence Lewis's academy as a trainer, and I've done jobs for $500 and for hours and hours together. And today, and it's not like my parents intervened, because back then they had started doing, like, probably things had fallen into place, but they never told us that they are financially now stable. Because they wanted us to feel that struggle, so that we value what we have today. And I think that is very, very beautiful, and I'm just blessed to have such a wonderful family. And they're not parents just to me, they're parents to every kid that has not been probably accepted by their own parents. And I always get emotional.
I know, and I've seen that through the years, and it's incredible. Like, your mom, so warm and so welcoming, and just like a
and
cookie.
The genes, oh my god, I'm just blessed.
Like, excuse me.
Yeah, hello. I'm like,
gorgeousness.
Karan has got the height and the body, and and well, Karan is quite hot. Yeah, all my girlfriends have to be told to be at a distance, because I have a beautiful sister-in-law.
Yes.
And a niece.
I know.
I'm like, can you please stop these thirst messages? We've never felt like we've never felt incomplete, because we have one another.
Yeah. So amazing. It sounds like you've had a fun childhood, and it was really warm in the family. I just wanted to know that growing up, what was the turning point for you as an individual, and you felt like, hey, you know what, something's different? I think I'm going to go through it by myself, or did you share it with a friend? Just tell me your own personal experience from your perspective.
So I was a sports person.
You were?
I was a national level swimmer. and a district level athlete and badminton player.
Oh my God.
Girl, that explains the legs.
Yeah, that does. It's got
Which
great
you can't
legs.
see today. But
Great legs.
basically, I was a sports person,
Yeah.
and I was very involved in extracurricular activities, and I used to love to sing and act in school also.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people used to tease me, and but I was not one of those kids that would listen to them and take it. First of all, I had 4 brothers in the same school.
Yeah.
And both my older brothers, like one is Karan and Varun is my my first cousin. They were all in the same school.
So you felt protected?
In a way.
Okay.
But I also had learned to fight my own battles. I used to whack them.
But
like
at a young
anybody.
age, you just knew you had to stand up for
I
yourself?
had to, because I knew that if there are so many people that are like telling me that they're making fun of me, or
Yeah.
they're saying that you're different, or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
should
yeah.
sit with the girls.
Yeah.
And I used to just be like, I used to whack them, like, because I was a strong kid.
Really?
That's how I dealt with
That's-
it. It's
wow.
not the best way to deal with it, but I protected myself.
But that was your defense?
That was my defense, and I was just like, they need to know that I'm not weak.
Yes.
Now, there are other ways to also show that you're not weak, but I'm not one to get bullied.
Yes.
And that shows even today. Like, I can walk out
Yeah, I
today,
know.
like the way I am. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Somebody else's gender expression or color or body size shouldn't be of any importance to you.
Absolutely.
Because you should not, your opinions cannot narrate their reality.
Yeah.
That's, I keep saying this. And your opinion is your opinion. It's not a fact.
It is not.
So you can have your opinion. What do you want? What will you say? When I'm like at wherever I am in my life, is because I've worked my ass off.
Yeah.
It's not because I put somebody down or I ate somebody else's work.
Absolutely.
In fact, I kind of, do my best to kind of be out there to support other, younger queer kids.
Yes.
So, for me as a kid, it was difficult because there was this turmoil, this conflict
Yes,
within
that's what I wanted
oneself.
to know. Like, what was the conversation you were having mentally in your head about? Okay, am I getting bullied? How should I tell Karan?
Yeah.
His older brother.
Oh my god, he would have killed them. Like, at least I used to
Oh, he
whack
was
them.
super protective.
He was. And also because he was so tough. He's 6'2".
Yeah.
And he's like Hulk. And, he would have killed them. So I didn't tell him.
Okay.
But I knew they were there if I had to tell
Got
them.
it.
So I had that in the back of my head. But so many kids don't. A lot of people ask me, was it difficult being a queer kid? It's
Yeah.
difficult being a kid.
Yes.
Okay? In any society.
Yeah.
Not just India or in a particular demographic. It's difficult being a kid anywhere because you have to fit into so many norms that are created.
Correct.
Not by you, but by the societal pressure.
Yeah.
That a girl should not do this, a
And
boy
boy
should
should
not do that, and if you're a healthy kid, you're a plus size kid, then you
You
should
should.
not play sports, or you can't be too dark if you're a girl. What is all this rubbish? And it's crazy, and
Yes.
we were not taught all this at all. So my home, a lot of times what used to happen, a lot of kids will tell you, is that school is a happy place for them, right? I used to have like this balance. School used to be like for the sake of going to school.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to go because I used to do exceedingly well till 6th grade.
Okay.
But then I used to come home and I used to feel so loved. So I kind of had that
You had that.
as that cushion,
You
and that
did.
comfort cushion. My family was that. And so, and I was excelling, I was the fastest swimmer in Mumbai. And,
Wow.
so for me, that was giving me, that leverage in terms
Yes.
of, even when the other kids used to kind of tease me and stuff like that, I used to be like, you know what? In front
Yeah.
of the entire school, I'm getting felicitated.
Yes.
And you're clapping. You have one job, clap.
Yes.
Clap. Just do that. That's it. That's all you have to do. So clap. And
You were confident.
and I was. And I know a lot of kids are not.
Yeah,
and
they're
and to them, I
not.
just want to say that, you don't have to worry. You're not alone. And your story is your story. Don't let anybody else dictate terms, your terms about your life. I just want to
Absolutely.
say that.
Yeah, I know a lot of the kids struggle growing up because they feel something. They're definitely either born in the wrong body or they feel different, but they really, really don't know how to take that. And you knew where to put that energy. It was in sports, and
Yes.
you had a loving family, which
Yes.
helped so much.
Right.
So a lot of people don't have that, but you'll get there, and we'll tell you how. Can you? Okay, yeah. I wanted to ask that at what age approximately did you start feeling like, okay, now I feel like different. I like dolls. I like also liked to play sports. And did you feel like you had to say this to your parents, or you felt like, hey, you know?
No,
Okay.
never, because my parents were so
They never made it like
evolved.
obvious and like.
Never. They were so evolved, and my so I used to play sports. Another thing is that, oh, how can gay people play sports?
I know.
Like, put me in a pool with any man, woman, whatever. I'll kick their ass, like even today, even without training. But my thing is that. So my thing is, I had to break those barriers
Yes.
also. Even in sports, like, you know, to have somebody. Of course, I didn't pursue it because, you know how it is. You're in the 9th and 10th grade. You must concentrate on your studies and this, that. So I had to leave it in between. But I would have loved to pursue swimming. A boy cannot do this. A boy cannot behave like a girl. A boy cannot dress up, wear makeup. Cannot do his hair like that. And then, if you're gay, then a gay person can't play sports. Like, how is that? That's weird. So there were so many things, and I'm just like, I'm breaking all of these one by one. So I was just like, I don't have the time for this, you know, BS.
And you did.
And I did. And so, yeah. My parents though never. Because
never.
both my parents were, my dad was an international level water polo player.
Oh, yes.
Mother was the, captain of the Karnataka basketball team, so national level
Oh,
again.
my.
And Karan also is a national level water polo player and swimmer. So we
I
come
did-
from a...
You
yeah.
come from a very talented family.
Yes, honey. And my cousin brother, as I told you, Varun also was the fastest swimmer in India at one point. So a family full of, sports people.
Open-minded and loving. Man, that's so amazing. I remember you telling me this conversation that your dad had with you. I think I want to say it's your coming out story, but you can tell me if it is. You told me specific that you had a conversation, your dad sat you down and, I want you to describe a little bit, whatever you can in your capacity about that conversation, and just so that people can connect, and if they're really, really afraid and they want to tell their parents, can they take inspiration from that story? So just take us through that moment.
So basically, I came out first to my brother.
Yes. I know that, yeah.
And he was first, so he gave, like, he threw a fit and he threw a hissy fit and said, no, you can't be, you're my brother. And that time he was dating my best friend.
How old were you?
I was 18.
You were 18?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite...
Yeah, and I told him because she told me to tell him, my best friend told me to tell my brother because she was like, I'm there, nothing will happen, so I'll whoop his ass.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I just told him, and she told him that he wants to say something, and she was there. And
but did you hesitate? Did you?
No, I said, because he was out on the balcony, they were having a conversation. I was in the room, and then I went out with my best friend, and she just said that, he has something to say. And I was like, I don't know whether I do have something to say. What are you putting me in the spot for? And I was like, this is like, okay, this is pressure. Now is the time, and then I just said, I'm gay.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's not possible.
Okay.
I said, I am telling you I'm gay. I'm not saying you're gay. So I know it's possible because I'm telling you about myself, right? So what do you mean it's not possible means what? He's like, no, because you're my brother. And I said, what do you mean by that? So he's like, no, but but you're so good at sports. And I was like, listen, Karan, but what's wrong with you? I'm so androgynous. Like even a visually impaired person will be able to tell. Okay, but my thing is that's another thing that I wasn't as flamboyant as I am
that you
today.
Are today. Yes.
But there are so many people who are queer that don't have to exactly be as flamboyant as me.
Yes.
Okay, they are their person.
Correct.
I am me. So you do you, I'll do me.
Correct.
And there is so much diversity even within the community. There are so many intersectionalities within the community. So my brother, of course, was not aware of all these things. So I gave him the benefit of doubt, and then my best friend intervened and she said, you have no business telling him what to do and stuff like that. You have to be there for him as a brother, and otherwise I'm leaving you.
Okay.
So he's like, no, I love him and stuff like that, but it's just like, it's going to take me some time. And then he also claimed that he was homophobic.
Okay.
Because he had this experience with this one person that was his casting director who misbehaved with him. So again, my brother also whacked him also. We are just like a family of just whacking
people.
Yeah, because if you see, if you're going to come and prowl on my dignity, I'm going to have to protect myself.
Absolutely.
How I protect myself, you leave that to me. So my brother also, and my brother in fact taught me how to hit and fight. because he used to try all those WWE moves on me.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So did my
You know
brother.
that?
He
I
threw
was
me
like-
down bunch of times.
Yeah, and I used to be like, can't you see those messages? Don't try this at home. So he used to get outside the home and do it on the veranda. And I used to get tombstoned and choke slammed and everything I've gone through. So, you know, like now, so even if I like fall off a building, nothing will happen to me. I'm used to it. You can't generalize just because there's one person that misbehaved. Doesn't mean all queer people, everybody from the LGBT community is going to behave the same way.
Correct.
And then he came around
Yes.
it took him quite a while, but I think in that intermediate phase he went and told my father,
Oh, he went
and I told him, don't tell mom and dad because I want to
It's
tell
your
mom and dad.
story.
It's my story. And I said, but he didn't listen. So he went and insinuated, you know,
Oh,
that
got it.
you do chugli, na?
Yes.
So he went and told my father
Okay.
that do you know that Sushant attends gay events and gay parties?
Acha.
So my father just looked over his shoulder and said, well, what is it to you? Mind your own business. My father's a rock star. Like, he is like a proper rock star. Like, full on. So he said, well, what is it to you? You mind your own business. What is some sibling rivalry or what? He's still going to get his pocket money. You're still going to get your pocket money. You want more money? You have to save it. So he thought it's coming from that. My father is too funny.
Yeah.
So he's like, what is it to you? You mind your own business. And then my father asked me.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, one day we were just chilling and
Yeah.
I was in his room and I was on my phone.
Yeah.
And he was reading the paper and then he just put it down and he asked me, Sushant, I wanted to ask you a question. Are you gay? And I was like, dude, what the
You were shaking.
what? Now I wanted to come out to them.
I know.
And I had planned this whole
Speech.
and then my other best friend who died,
Yeah.
Jui, she was like, I'll be there, don't worry, and uncle and auntie love me a lot. I said, they love me also, I'm not the neighbor's child.
Yeah.
You know, and they love me also,
Yeah.
but I want to kind of put a nice, you has to be chronological,
Yeah.
na? Like it has to have some sort of
Reasoning and
yeah. And so I said, let me say it. And so my dad didn't allow it. Dad didn't allow me to come on to him. He just asked me,
Okay.
you know, as a matter of fact, in a conversation
Yeah.
like we're having. He's
Yeah.
like, are you gay? And if I ask you an honest question, you'll give an honest answer.
Correct.
And I didn't want to keep lying.
Yes.
You know, एक झूठ छिपाने के लिए 100 झूठ बोल
बोलने
दो.
पड़ते
हाँ, I didn't want to do that. So I said, yes, Dad, I am. And he was like, okay. He's like, it's fine with me. It's just that, you know, I might have to read a little more about the LGBT community and so I can completely understand. But then he also asked me a very silly question, which it was very cute. He was like, this is not some fashion, no?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to be, you know,
Yeah.
it's not a phase, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I said, no, it's just who I am. And he's like, okay, fine. You know, I think from now on, I'll have to take more care of you because get emotional.
I know, and I'm getting teary-eyed.
Yeah. And he's like, from now on, I have to take more care of you because if we don't support you, then
Yeah,
we
who
can't
will?
expect
I know. I'm just imagining this little boy who's like so
Yeah.
scared, and his dad being like, "Listen, like I got you. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be scared."
Yeah.
Whew, this is like
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to like discuss this because it's really not everyone is like that. Not
Yeah.
everyone is accepting.
And you know what my dad said is that he's like, you're not my gay child or my straight child, you're my child.
Yes.
And I posted it and
I know you
it's
did.
so beautifully he said it. So my dad started subscribing to
Yeah.
LGBT magazines, articles
To educate himself.
to educate himself, and I think that's going on you know, an extra leg to kind of be there for your child.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no looking back.
Yeah.
Now if I've had so much support, my mother's story was even funnier, but I'll
Okay,
tell
yeah, I
you.
wanna
It
hear
was funny. It was not funnier, it was the funniest story. So, but then I realized that if I have such supportive parents, then I have to pass the baton on and give that support that I have received to children who don't have that support.
Yes.
And which is why then, you know, I started working with the Humsafar Trust
Yeah.
very closely with their events and their campaigns and the Tweet Foundation. Then, you know, there are a lot of other foundations that I've worked with to incorporate this sense of belongingness, because as the community, as a queer community, we have the power to choose our family.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's the beauty of it, you know. So you'll see that a lot of people call me mama,
Yeah.
even though they're like a couple of months younger than me. Some of them are even older than me, but I think that maternal instinct is in me because
You take them under your wings and you mentor them. And
not only that, but just talk to them like nicely, you know.
Yeah,
They've
be
been
kind.
abused and through their lives, so Yeah.
I know. But you are
And
that
it,
to
it
them.
is very emotional, and a lot of them have to physical, sexual, emotional, mental abuse, and I just feel like I've been blessed and I've not had the bad fortune of going through
Going
that.
through
But they have, and then they see me as a ray of hope, so
know.
I have to be stronger.
I know. And you are. And that's how, like, so many people watching also, like, really get this, like, it gives them a sense of power. Like, you know what? I can do this too.
Yeah.
And I think you have to go through something to be able to be there for someone. And I feel like
Yeah.
you have a story.
And I wanted to say that friends like you have been there since forever.
Yeah.
You've been with me. We've actually watched some of my shows premieres on television together. I've been late for it, and you and mom have been like, come fast, it's starting, and I'm like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
So, and you have been there without any conditions.
Yeah.
And I think that just gives me hope. And people also should get that hope that there are people like you that are privileged, that help other people.
Yeah.
And you do something with your pedestal.
Yes.
Like this show, like you don't know, you might not know what you're doing, but you're doing service.
Yeah.
And I think that is very beautiful, and you will earn a lot of good karma with this.
And I hope to do. I felt that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That means so much. I love this story. Like, I'm feeling so warm in my heart. Like, I can just picture it happening because I know your dad, and it's so much fun. I really definitely little bit want to hear your mom because I know your mom more than your dad.
Oh my god, my mother was just the funny story. So my dad asked me, do you want me to tell mom, or would you want to tell her? So I said, now can I tell somebody? Okay, I mean, can I tell one of y'all? So I went to her, and she was like in the living room in the sofa, and she was watching the television, and I came in front of her and I said, Mom, I want to talk to you. She's like, move! Some TV show she was watching. And I'm like, what are you talking? Like, who are you calling this? And she's like, just move. Oh God, stop it. We're not recording this. And because you have that Tata Sky, we didn't have that. So she's like, then I have to rewatch it again. Like, I don't have the patience. It's like, I'll talk to you in the advertisement, in the commercial break. So I said, this is life changing.
I know, like her life's about to change.
She wants to watch a TV show. Like, some villain is killing some girl in some village. And I'm like, oh God, okay, cool. And then
you waited.
Yeah, and then she muted it, and then she's like, now what is it?
Oh, I can hear this.
So yeah, what is it? And I was like, I wanted to tell you something very important about myself. Now see, if this is about you being gay, then I already know. Now I was like, listen, who do I tell? Like, who do I say this? I never had the opportunity to
come out.
Because they were so wonderful, and then, but also so funny. Like, who does this? She's like, I'm your mother, I know everything. She just told me one thing, is that just be safe.
Yeah.
And just make yourself proud.
Yes.
I have so much to give. I have so much to take also.
Yes.
And I've earned my stripes. I've earned my place at the table. And I will definitely order a la carte. I'm not going to settle for the buffet now. You know? And without looking at the other side of the menu for the
Yes!
So I said, let me enjoy that. But I hustle every day. I wake up and I hustle every day. And I have to reinvent myself. So as do you, and I think that as creators, as artists, as people look up to, I think we have a big responsibility. A lot of artists say that it's not our problem. We put our content, we like it or not. I think as artists, and when you've been given that platform and you've been given that support from your, I don't like saying fans.
Same.
It's quite derogatory to call them fans.
Same.
Admirers.
Yeah.
Okay, or people who support you.
Yes.
Your family. They're like your family. They're your support system, right? Like, you do whatever and then they're with you. And I think it's just giving them back. So if we suddenly go off the radar, it's not fair for all the time we've invested with them, that relationship we've built. So I can't just vanish. So
we feel the sense of responsibility. There's so much we can do.
Yeah.
And there are people banking on us.
Right. And so that's what my mom said, that you make yourself proud. And so I have to up it every other day. It's so empowering
Yeah.
to just feel that you're loved without any condition.
Yes.
and that, and my mom is my biggest supporter.
I know.
I'm there, I'm like that person that will be like, don't come for them. You can come for me because it doesn't matter, I'm hard. But if you come for somebody that I love, you're finished. I will systematically deconstruct you. See, देखो गाली देने से या तो ये है तो वो है उससे नहीं. I will systematically deconstruct you. This is why I'm fierce and I'm a psychologist.
Yeah.
I will systematically deconstruct you to believe you're a piece of shit.
People
And you will
are
believe it.
Because people are very cruel.
They're cruel. And so I think that you don't come for people I love. I think there was a time that somebody had come for you and you know how, and then you had to tell me, okay, you just like
Yeah,
relax.
I remember that.
Relax. And I was like, the bitch wants to die. Bitch wanna die. So I was like,
Yeah, that happened. That happened.
So I'm just like that
Protective.
with my friends.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very protective, yeah.
Wow, man, I'm having so much fun. Okay, so how was your college life? All good? Like, you had tons of friends, I know that.
A lot of these
Oh my god, girl.
I was like, listen.
Insert photos of
Yeah.
you with your like photo shoots and
But
Very
back then
handsome.
I started doing advertisements at a very young age.
Yeah.
So by 18 I was like saturated with advertisements.
Okay.
Like that much I did. So, and then of course then I got onto television and stuff. But when I was doing all of that, and because I was an athlete, I had the body, I was ripped,
Yeah, I know.
and so I was again, it was very, it was fun to watch actually. And when I look at my my pictures when I was younger, it's quite comic now, but like yeah.
Okay, so recently, Sushant, you came out as non-binary, and I just want everybody to know what that means, and just like in layman's terms, explain to them what that is and why you decided to come out right now as that. Do you feel any different? Just take us through it.
So, gender is a construct that we have created. So, what happens to people who don't adhere to these binaries? The gender binaries are male and female. So, if you don't adhere to this, or you're probably fluid, you sometimes feel like a male and sometimes as a female, or sometimes as none, you don't want to be compartmentalized or boxed into a particular gender, or you want to be fluid and you say that I'm an amalgamation of both energies, like myself. So that then who accounts for that? And who says that they're not as human as anybody else?
Absolutely.
So this is just gender, and this is a gender that has been assigned to us. What we do with it in the course of our life is up to us. And nobody has the right to challenge that, or right to tell you that you cannot be this gender, or you cannot. I mean, for a very long time, I caged myself and realized that
because of the tons of rules that we're put down on. No, you cannot do this, you have to do this.
Even as a gay man, there were so many things that you can't do this, and why are you so effeminate? Why don't you just become transgender? Why don't you transition and become a woman? I'm like, but I don't want to do that.
Yes.
There are people who might want to do that because they feel that their body and their soul is not the same gender.
Yes.
They have the soul of a woman, but the body of a man. So they have to undergo the surgery to become a woman bodily, to feel complete.
Okay, and that is trans?
That's transitioning, into being a woman. So that becomes a trans woman.
Yes.
Okay, that's also a transgender person.
Yes.
But that is post-operation.
Yes.
But there are other people that don't want to go undergo operation, and they want to.
They're comfortable.
They are gender non-conforming, or they're they're non-binary people. And now under non-binary, there are a lot of terms. There are gender fluid, there are gender neutral, there are bigender, there are a lot of subdivisions and denominations within non-binary people. Now, non-binary is also technically an umbrella term for transgender.
Yes.
Because you don't adhere to one gender. Exclusively, right, that's right. And or you don't adhere to either.
Yes.
Also, you should be respected. Anybody, my thing is that regardless of gender or whatever, whenever I have to speak about this, I'm just like, just respect everyone.
Yeah, just respect and love everyone. Like,
Yeah.
you cut them, blood only will come out, no?
Yeah, same.
So how are they different?
Yeah, and we don't drink like transgender coffee or water. It's
They're
water.
human beings.
And
love
we breathe the same air.
air.
We have the same emotions. We have the same, dreams and aspirations.
Yes,
and
you do.
We do each and everything that a heterosexual person does.
Yes.
And so this whole
Label
spectrum
and-
of labeling, on the spectrum also to label that भाई ये तुम ये हो तो तुम ऐसे रहो, तुम transgender हो तो तुम ऐसे रहो, if you're gay then तुम ऐसे रहो. It's not needed. I believe that it's just restricting a person from achieving their full potential.
Yes.
Because you're tagging them with so many things. Humanity is so... when we are born, we're an empty canvas. We are not racist, homophobic, nothing.
Yeah.
A child will play with anybody. A child will play with another child regardless of color, orientation,
Absolutely.
gender. The child will not. We teach the child
Yes,
to
we
be a certain way. We prime the child. We kind of condition the
them.
child to behave a certain way, be a certain way. Don't talk to this one. Don't talk to them. They are like this. Their community is like this. Their society is like this. Their lives are like that. Don't do this. Don't do that. So there's so many restrictions that the child is already, before even entering the world.
Before he had a chance to give his own opinion and his own, he's
Before
conditioned.
the children have been even given the chance to go into the real world, they have been primed so negatively and over primed in some cases.
Yes.
There are people that just don't. They find it very hard when they become adults to then see that life is so much more than what we heard
Yes.
of. In the confines of our four walls.
Yeah.
So that's what.
That's what it is, you guys. I hope you understood that. Very
Love
simple.
is love.
Love is love.
And however cliched it sounds, it's
so true.
Yeah.
So, I want to know what you were doing on 6th September 2018 when the Supreme Court decriminalized consensual intercourse between people of the same sex. And made homosexuality legal. What were you doing? What was your emotion like? And what did you feel? Where were you at that moment?
I was at home. I was getting ready for a couple of interviews. I had to go to a couple of news channels to be on the panel. Because it could have gone either way, right?
Yeah.
So we had to be prepared. So I was going through my notes and, my makeup artist was doing my makeup and stuff. And my mom was in the living room and she started screaming.
Okay.
So I was like, oh God, what happened? Because she has this problem where she chokes. So I was like, oh God, now, are you okay? And then she started crying and she just hugged me and she was like, it's gone. It's gone. Section 377 has gone. I cried. We just hugged each other for 10 minutes straight. And I cried and she cried and my makeup was all over the place. So my makeup artist had to charge me a little more. Full face had to be done again. And so, all that happened. And I was just, I don't know. Dad was not at home.
Yeah.
Because Dad was also on his way to another panel.
Okay.
On I think Faye D'Souza show.
Oh, wow.
Back then.
Okay.
And he was like full on, I'll take on anybody and this and that. I'll go and I'm representing the community. Don't worry, I'm there.
Yeah.
And he's in some studio. I'm getting ready to go to another studio. Mom is taking calls. And then my manager was taking calls and I was just like, oh my God, it's happening. I couldn't believe it.
God.
I didn't,
Even
honestly.
did you think that?
It wouldn't happen in my
Okay,
lifetime.
you thought it wouldn't?
It wouldn't happen for another 30 years.
Really?
I realized that this is something that is historic.
You've got to fight. Yeah. You
And
thought you would have to
also-
fight for it for more, but then you didn't. And
Yeah, I was just like, I am now thankful that we can finally call ourselves progressive in
Yeah.
terms of at least trying to amending something that is not even ours, throwing it away because this was a British law.
Yes.
It was not our law.
Yes, it was
You know,
not.
people who are like, it's not in our culture, ye hamare sabhyata mein nahi hai, ye nahi. Listen, let me tell you, I wear Durga. I am the disciple of Ardhanareshwar. I am the epitome of Ardhanareshwar. I am the most religious when it comes. I have a walk every year to Vaishno Devi. So these people who falsely say that they're religious, who are you talking about? What culture are you talking about? Especially in Hinduism, they use Hinduism as a weapon
Yeah.
and to kind of, you know, demonize
Yeah.
marginalized communities.
Yeah.
And excuse me, we've been marginalized because of the British. When every time when we talk about the Britishers broke us and divided us on based of caste and religion and all that, nobody spoke about the fact that they broke us also and divided us on the basis of orientation.
Yes.
Through section 377. Nobody, because they couldn't see that we were so evolved. The Britishers, and this is the truth, the Britishers could not see that we were so evolved sexually. We were so comfortable being so sexual. We were so comfortable with the diversity. They wanted to cage us. They wanted to kind of restrain us from doing all this. And doing all this what? We were already evolved.
Yeah.
We were the land of Kama Sutra. We taught you how to do it. You know? Who the hell are you teaching? Who are you claiming that you all are? Because they were that Victorian, you know, all prim and proper. Oh my God, they're so sexual. Like, let's curb this.
Yeah.
So in the Victorian age, that's what Freud did.
Yeah.
You know, the first couple of patients, he was a neurologist, Sigmund Freud.
Yes.
And the first couple of patients that came to him were from the colonized areas. And they were so, you know, they had body aches, they had headaches and stuff. So he checked them, because as a neurologist, he checked them and he said, there's nothing wrong with your body. So definitely there is something more to this. It's not a bodily symptom.
Okay.
That's when he studied psychology. And then he said that it's psychosomatic. And that was because they were repressing their women. They used to tie chastity locks and chastity belts and all of that. So the men always have been a little harami. But this was next level.
Yeah.
Okay, the Britishers, they were next level brutal. Like they should not, you should not hold back at all when you say this, because their children, when I have cousins who have studied in the UK and England, and they don't have a mention of the atrocities that the Britishers have put us. With women, now what has happened is because there are strict laws now.
Yes.
Okay, when there is molestation or rape, when it comes to women.
Yeah.
But when it comes to trans women, there's no law.
No law that protects them.
So the men have now started misbehaving and raping trans women, who are the only source, not the only source. Now you have trans women who are really excelling in all the fields. You know, they're lawyers, doctors, engineers. Gosh. Look at Trinetra is there. There are so many people. Abhi Nahir, Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi, Gauri Sawant. There are so many. There are principals of colleges, universities are trans women. And you know, the high court judges are trans women. Today, politicians are trans women. There is there are actresses, models, makeup artists. There's everybody. Like today, there is. But a couple of years back, the only solace they had and to survive and to sustain themselves was prostitution and begging.
Yes.
You think any woman, you think about it, any girl would want to sell their body on the signal?
No.
They don't want to do it, but they're forced to do it.
I know.
And then people take advantage of that, rape them, you know, and throw them to, you know, just whatever. I'm getting goosebumps.
I know.
How can you do that to a life?
You can't.
And people have not created any provision. So I would really, I'm working with the, you know, a couple of ministries and, you know, organizations to kind of bring about this change.
Awareness
and awareness and also strict laws. There has to be an umbrella law for rape.
That protects them.
Umbrella law for rape.
Yeah.
You can be a male, female, transgender.
Yes.
Rape is rape.
Yes, because I don't think there's a law that protects male as well.
Yeah. So rape is rape. So everybody must be protected under that law. You can't just say that women above the age of 18.
Can you believe it?
So if a girl is 17 and 364 days, okay, women above girls under the age of 70, then there is like a hang or whatever. Like I have not read the laws very well, but the laws differ for age groups for women. Now a rapist is a sick person. The rapist is going to rape regardless of age.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. What is the problem at hand is rape, not the age of a woman. Yeah. Why are you again putting it on the woman?
Yes.
Saying that
they dressed a certain way, they provoke the guy.
Yeah, and age. Like, how does a person have control over age? And how these people don't have the control. Rapists are rapists. They need to be, in my opinion, this most severe punishment must be given to them. But for trans people, there is nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
So they can't go anywhere. They can't seek help.
Absolutely not. And at least that's the law of the land, and I think it has to change as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
You can't, because the thing is that there are laws that say that how can a man be raped? Like, what are you talking? Like, do I have to like say this on camera? Like, what do you mean by how can a man be raped? This
Saying
is
that
terrible.
also is very...
It's terrible. So I think that it has to be, redone. It has to be re-looked at. It has to be amended. And I think it's a process, but we have to do it. We have to start the conversation.
Yes, we have to.
Yeah.
All right. So do you think, as a society now that we've come so far, at least I think we're trying to come so far, but do you think we're actually there? Like, even though there's a law now and it's legal, but do you think that we're actually open to acceptance and inclusivity? In your mind, how do you think people have treated you? And have you felt in a way that, okay, I think there's still a long way to go for India?
Of course, definitely there has been a vast change.
Yes.
You have to give that to the people of this country.
Yes.
Okay? Because they have made the effort to understand.
Yeah.
Policies still have to change tenfolds. Like, there has to
Agreed.
be so many amendments made even within acts that are already have been introduced,
Yeah.
like the Trans Act, the Trans Bill that became the Act, and then there were several amendments that were supposed to be made. But I have to also say that the ministries, the ministers, and the government in power, and also the opposition, I think there is this one aspect like this is human rights.
Yeah.
There should be no debate whether you're the ruling party or the opposition party. It should not make a difference.
Yeah.
Because this is human rights.
Yes.
It's not based on right wing, left wing, centrist. It doesn't matter. These are rights that you have to give to citizens of your country. So you all have to come together.
Yeah.
That must be understood.
Yes.
Because we imagine the amount of money that you're letting go of by creating people that are not contributing to society and to the GDP or to the growth of the country. Economically speaking, if you're going to create ghetto culture, you're letting go of a lot of money. And when you portray yourself as a homophobic nation, that's also affecting your GDP.
Yes, it is.
Because people from abroad will think that India is a homophobic country, so we don't want to visit it.
Yes.
Because we will not feel safe.
Yeah.
And that's wrong, because India is very welcoming.
Yes.
I will vouch for that.
Yes.
India is fantastic, and we are, Atithi Devo Bhava. We treat our guests like God.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't matter to them whether now you're gay, straight, whatever.
Yeah.
Because we are so beautiful, we are so rich
are.
in our culture. And all these rubbish people, they're like these miscreants are rodents, And I'm like, listen, you need to exterminate them as soon as possible. Because, you know how it is, no? Like, one thing gets infested,
Yes, one
then
that
the
happens.
whole bloody house will get infested. So you need to root them out, like, completely. You can't let them be there and be like, no, but that's their opinion. Sorry, that's wrong. You can have your opinion, but you can't be coming and inciting violent thoughts and all in public and all. That should just be condemned.
Yeah.
You can't just be saying that, oh my god, this person is transgender, they deserve to die. Who says stuff like this? So I think people who say stuff like that, whether it's on social media, and I think the cyber cell is doing a good job. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Even the Social Justice Ministry of India is doing a very good job. The National Institute of Social Defense, I went and met the director, who's ex-IPS, and they're making an effort.
Yeah.
They're kind of coming up with several campaigns, and including transgender individuals, and creating and amending laws that are already in existence. So I think that we are definitely going towards but the pace is slow, but at least the conversation is started.
Yes, it has.
There's much more hope.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Our generation is going to change a lot. Okay, so on this very topic, I want to know that what are some of the NGOs that are working towards helping the community today, and what can we as a society do to be a part of it and be more accepting, and what can we do? If there's any pointers.
Oh my god, there are so many, Miles. There are so many NGOs, organizations, non-profit organizations.
Which we will list down below for sure.
Yes, I will give you the names. But they do such fantastic
Fantastic
work.
work.
They do sensitization workshops for the police. I'm in talks with the aviation ministry to train them. to be more inclusive.
Yes.
Have gender fluid bathrooms, toilets, have gender fluid lines in queues, because I might want to be in the other's line. Now if I have on my passport, or for example I haven't yet changed it, but I plan to change it to other, because the thing is that I don't want to be male or female, I want to be other. You have that. India is one of the only countries, now see, this is what people don't know, India is one of the first countries to give transgender people rights to vote and give them the recognition as the third gender. India is the first country. So people don't know this. Okay? All your European countries, they'll talk big, and I love to visit them. I can never even imagine living there, because the thing is that my thing is there's a lot of talk, but they also have gone through, they also on a very daily basis go through a lot of shit that they choose not to say in their media.
Okay, so I have a lot of teenagers on my platform and they're confused. Okay, so I just want to ask you, like, you know, a lot of them feel suicidal. I get a lot of DMs personally as well, where they just want an escape. So a young child is feeling different, they're trapped, they don't know who to share this with. Sometimes parents are really, really harsh, and they put these conditions on you, like we discussed, and it's against their dharam or like society, you know, to be another gender, and so they can't share it with them, so they feel suicidal.
Right.
Is there any way we can guide them that is not the only escape? I don't want that to be your only option.
No, that is not. It's not your only option. It's, in fact, it's not even, should not even be there on your,
it should not,
on your list, because as I said, as we discussed earlier, the world is a very big place, and you've seen a very minuscule part of it. So don't go by what you've seen. Go by what you will see tomorrow. And you know, every day is a gift, I believe, you know, Malvika. Every day you wake up is a gift.
Yeah, first breath.
Know? And people crave. There are some people who don't have control. They have terminal illnesses. They don't have control over it. They pray that give us a little more time, and you're taking that away from yourself. That joy of, you know, sustaining and surviving on this lovely journey. And yes, things are not going to be easy. Yes, things are not going to be the way you want them to be all the time. Everybody has a choice. But your choice should always be to be the best version of yourself. That should be your number one priority. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about anybody else's opinions. Don't ever think that you're lesser than anything or anybody. Ever. You know this. You're the prime. I should give you the example of Malvika, because I have seen, you know, somebody who has been privileged and then has been all of that taken away from you, and how you have hustled to fend for your family, for your brothers, for your mum. I have seen it, and it's not easy for a girl to do that. You know, and for anybody to do that. Forget girl, but I'm saying that because it's a patriarchal society. I'm saying girl, and you're a boss. You're not a girl. You're the epitome of how young girls who believe that they're not good enough because they've been told, no, you're a girl, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't have your own business, you can't be your own person. And you have been this ray of hope for so many people. Even I take inspiration from you. You are like a baby to me, but I take inspiration from you, from our friendship, from your personality, from the woman you have blossomed into becoming today. I would have never imagined, I'll be honest, never imagined you to be such a responsible, such a strong-headed, and such a self-motivating, and now of course you're a motivational factor and a persona to so many other youngsters. So you must look at her journey and you must understand that it has not been all, you know, rainbows and butterflies for both of us, but like, and that's what I'm saying. So for children that are watching this, for young teenagers, for tweens, that's also a term, by the way. We never knew.
Tell them what it is.
Even I don't know.
Tweens
is what? Early teenager. No, late.
Acha.
Tweens is your early 20s or something. Late teens and early 20s. Something like that. Yeah, these. Gen Z. Now there's Gen Z. अभी तो alphabet खत्म हो गए. Next generation क्या बोला है?
9 to 12. Tweens are 9 to 12.
9 to 12. Pre-tweens.
Teenagers.
देखो. Yes, there are, you know, all of them also. And because, you know, there are bodily changes. There are emotional turmoils happening, you know, as to what my friends will perceive me as, what will my family say, what will my, peer pressure is there. So, and plus the pressure to do well. And now it's obnoxious. Like, I feel like telling some parents, you need to calm the fuck down. Because they are your children. अभी तुम्हें 50% मिले थे, हाँ, तुमको स्कूल में अगर 55% मिले थे, तो तुम्हारे बेटी को कहाँ 90% मिलेंगे? वो तुम्हारे बेटे के पड़ोसी के हैं. I'm like, why are you being so harsh on them?
Yeah.
Everybody celebrated that you passed. So, go easy on the children. That's another pressure. So I think parents need to go really
easy
and not like completely complacent and let them do whatever. But be a little more humane.
Good, not to the point where a kid feels suicidal.
Yeah.
That's a little extreme, like.
Because all these aspects also add to it.
Yeah, so there's always a way out. I mean, there is a community that is there.
Yeah, and I would like to say this, take the opportunity to announce this. I don't know whether I told you
I
this.
don't know.
But I am launching my own company.
Okay.
Which is called House of Kohinoor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you about this.
Yeah.
But I like to tell them because we're going to have free counseling services for people who can't afford it, for teenagers, for people, transgender people, for people who are from the backward strata of society.
That's the best thing I've heard.
And that is one vertical, of course. And we'll have the best counselors, the best in mental health taking care of you, and you don't have to spend a pie.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that is.
So you're not alone.
You're not
alone.
That is service, baby.
Yeah,
my God.
I mean, I have to give back. I've always given back, but like I think this is like taking it to another level where if I have had the power to study and to, gain all this knowledge, then I need to spread it and I need to be there for all these kids.
Yeah. Okay, so is there any community or Facebook group or anything where parents can join and educate themselves, or like a parent community?
My parents are the founding members of this parent-led support group for parents of LGBT kids, which is called Sweekar.
Okay.
And we'll give you the information.
Details down, yeah.
The details. And
Cool.
my parents, my mom and my dad are the founding members.
Okay.
Along with Chitra Palekar, who's the famous director and actress. And Aruna Desai, whose son is gay. Harish Iyer's mom,
Yes,
Padma Iyer. And a couple of other parents whose children are fabulous, but the parents are the real rock stars.
Yes.
Abhina Ahir's mother, Mangala Ahir, who has been an exponent of Bharatnatyam and Kathak and traditional dance forms. And so, they are all there and they are so senior. And there are also younger parents like, Mr. and Mrs. Sharma, there is, from Delhi. So all over India now.
Wow.
And I think that, they are doing great service as parents to kind of talk to parents.
That's amazing.
Talk to other parents. And if the child also has an issue, for example, they can tell one of our parents, like all the members of the Sweekar group. It's a support group. And they will then take the children and get their parents' numbers, contact them, and then call for a session with like a professional and them involved.
Wow!
To tell them that it wasn't easy for us either, but they are our children. So you have to understand that all this rubbish that people talk about your children, let them talk. But your child is your child. You understand that.
Yeah.
And I think that is brilliant.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, they say na home is your first institution. It's like
Absolutely.
where you get everything from. So I feel like if their parents, even young parents who are about to get married and about to have babies, I feel like just take this anyway. Just like, take this class anyway. You never know.
Absolutely.
You may learn so much and you may just broaden your thought and your scope of understanding. And you'll be more accepting. And I feel like that's
You'll
amazing.
just be better people.
You'll be better people because all this hearing of like disowning your child and all of that, I'm like, girl, disowning your child? That I can't even say this because I'm like, I don't understand it because I've been to one of the talks like years ago with Sushant. It's still with me, like it's imprinted, and I've heard stories of their parents disowning them and they don't want to talk to them, and I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps because I remember that very well. And I was like, no, I don't think this makes any sense. Like for a parent to be like, oh, I've loved you for 9 years and now I don't.
Yeah.
What?
Like, that's conditions, putting conditions. Like, okay, you know what, we'll take you back, but you can't do this. You can't tell anybody else, and you'll have to get married to a girl as soon as you're 18, and then everything will fall into place.
And
Once you
we
get
love
married, तुमने शायद तुमको आता नहीं है ठीक से करना. This is how they talk. Parents. So parents really need a master class.
They do.
From even Auntie J. Your mom is a diva.
Yeah.
I have to say this, like in her own right. I think the way she's brought all three of you all up, I mean, kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos. See, these are the women that are the real sheroes, not the heroes. The sheroes. And we need more parents like this. Like, she has always she's always treated us like we're her own.
Yeah.
And that's what parents who are comfortable within themselves as parents have no problem in doing that for other kids.
Yes.
That's what parents need to know.
Yeah.
That you're not only being a parent to your child, you're being a ray of hope to other children that don't have these supportive parents.
Yes.
So you've got the gift of being a parent. There are so many parents that don't have that. You have the gift and you're disowning your own child. So I think it's criminal. It should be a criminal offense if you have the child to disown your child. It should be a criminal offense. And also, another thing is that if you're making that a criminal offense, automatically people will, stop abandoning children. But for the children that are abandoned, please know that have been at whatever point, we are all one family.
Yeah.
I always believe. So I just want to tell y'all that if y'all ever feel like y'all are alone or y'all don't have a figure in your life that you can kind of look up to for support and love, I'm there. I might not be much older than you, but I'm always there. I can always be there. She's here.
Oh yeah.
We're here if you need to talk to us, and we'll always be here till we are here.
We're here. We can connect you to some amazing people as well.
Yes.
So Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you learned something new, and we will definitely leave some links, some NGOs, everything that you need in the information box down below. And you can always DM us. We're on social media, so definitely slide into our DMs if you have something awesome to say. Not otherwise.
Not with unsolicited deep pics.
Just ending note, just love everyone, accept them. I always say it on my channel as well. Like, that's where my channel comes from. Wherever you are, with whomever you're dealing with, come from a place of love. I feel like that's the only answer to everything in life. And just love and accept, and you will feel powerful in a way. It's kind of freeing and liberating to just accept people and allow them to live the way they're living. And
as long as they're not harming anyone else.
Yeah. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you. And I'll tell you about House of Kohinoor, and then I'll have you on my show, girl.
Yeah.
And then we can put it out for everybody to everybody to avail. And if you all ever have anything to speak about, just call us. No, don't call us. Message us and we will call you.
Alright.
तुझे देखूं या तेरा साया देखूं, तुझे देखूं या तेरा साया देखूं, या देखूं मैं खुद के प्यार को. अब तू ही बता मैं क्या समझूं इस जश्न बहार को. अब तू ही बता मैं क्या समझूं इस जश्न बहार को. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your shit bare. See how I leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all. Rolling in the deep. and you played it to the beat. We could have had it all, rolling in the deep. And you played it, you played it, you played it, you played it to the beat. Whoa.